Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the HatsOff Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Ray, and it brings us another week. I will have to say, doing this podcast has been so much fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it as well. I feel like every time I'm doing something, I'm thinking, oh, I could do a podcast about this. Every topic that comes to mind. And I think it was like last week, I was scrolling through social media and I saw this gentleman, and I don't remember the social media account that posted this, but I saw this gentleman talk about how on the movie Tombstone. Do you know that movie? It's like classic, right? I mean, I grew up with that movie. On the movie Tombstone, he's saying that the statement "I'm your huckleberry" isn't actually "I'm your huckleberry," but "I'm your hucklebearer." And he went in and dove into, the meaning of a hucklebearer. A huckle is something that they put on the sides of the caskets back in the day, or the coffins back in the day, that would allow what we call today the pallbearer to carry the casket. And so instead of saying "I'm your huckleberry," I'm your hucklebearer, meaning I'm the person that's gonna, kind of take you to your grave. Now, he did post at the end of it, like, do your own research. I don't even know if this is true. So I'm not saying that it is true, but my mind was kind of blown. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Does he not say "I'm your huckleberry"? Because, I mean, again, I grew up with that movie. That is the line that everybody knows from that movie. And then I started to think, man, what are things in life or in business that we just assume are true? And then if I take that even a step further, what are things that we assume that are true that while we were doing them was actually hurting our business instead of helping it in the way that we thought it was, right? Because I think there's so much in life that we learn or we assume, and that assumption becomes real, even if we haven't done the research to know that, hey, this isn't actually the right way or the best way, or going to better or just fact, right? There's so much that is assumed in today's world. And I think when you are building a business, because you learn as you go, you are building and creating habits which, you don't know if they're right or wrong, but if your business is growing or going in the right spot, or if you're comfortable with those habits or assumptions of the way that you should be running your business, right? Then you don't think to change them. You're constantly looking for the next way to grow, for the next thing to learn, instead of going, wait, hold on. Am I actually doing this correctly? Is what I'm doing right? Is what I'm doing the best? Can I change this? Right? We're not questioning ourselves and what we're already doing. Instead, we're just going with what we've learned and building upon that, which I get it. I completely understand. There's so many times you have to build upon that. But building that really strong foundation for your business is, I think, one of the most vital things you can do for yourself. So many people talk about work-life balance. If you don't have a foundation for your business, then you're never going to have that work-life balance. So anyways, random story. This random social media post that I saw got me thinking about, man, what is it that we can talk about with this? Because it was so mind-blowing. Again, I don't know if it's true. I did research it. There's a variety of articles that say, no, he says I'm your huckleberry, and a variety of says, no, he says I'm your hucklebear. So who knows what's true? Point is, it brought us here today to have this conversation about assumptions, things that you're doing in your business that might feel right, but might not necessarily be the best for your growth. And if the only thing you take away from this podcast is to, instead of sometimes looking for the next thing that is going to spark your growth, think about what you're doing now and can you do it better, right? So that is where you stop. If that is the only thing you take in, I'm fine with that. But let's dive into this. So a few things that, as I was thinking along my journey, along other people's journey that I've coached, here's a few things that I want to point out that I think some people truly believe, but I feel it's probably hurting your business or it hurt my business. So I'm coming at it from two different angles here. You may or may not agree with me. That's okay. But I'm just going to give my 2 cents with this. So, first one is low pricing. And I know this is one people talk about all the time. I helped a client, several years ago, and she was very frustrated. She was a photographer and she was like doing these mini sessions for free. She's like, they're free. And people don't even bother to show up or bother to contact me. And I even see this with super low pricing as well. If you're too low of price, people don't trust you, right? So if your prices are low, like below average of your competitors, people just aren't going to trust you. They're not going to think you're professional. They're not going to think you're good. It's just not going to happen. Right. So that is like number one, I feel like misconception or assumptions people make is low pricing means I'll automatically get clients, because who doesn't want something low? Right. At the end of the day, we always say all the time, well, people are price sensitive. And I think they are price sensitive to a point. But also, oh, and I did that really well. I just drank my tea. And I didn't mean to, but also people pay for things like this, Starbucks. It's like $5 for a cup of tea. Can I make tea at home? Sure. I don't. I buy Starbucks tea. So while we are price sensitive on some things, there are many things we are not price sensitive on, right? If we value it, if we need it, if it's worth our time, we're going to pay for it. And that runs in like all points of society, from low income to high income, right? If it's something they value, they're going to pay for it. So low prices doesn't necessarily mean you will get clients. Cool. So that's number one. Medium prices. Let's talk about that one. If you are right in the same line with everybody else, right? You have the same prices of everybody else in your area for your service, there is a good chance that people are not picking you because of just that, right? The reason being, you think of it and you're like, man, I'm right in line. This is good. This is a good thing for my business. But now you're one of 50 people. You're one of 20 people. Now we have more decision fatigue. Somebody comes in, they're looking at all of you. It's harder to rank, SEO purposes. You have decision fatigue with your clientele, right? You are swimming in a bigger pond. And because you're swimming in a bigger pond, sure, you're there for the masses, right? There's going to be more people looking at you, but now people have to make a bigger decision, right? So the assumption of I'm middle price, this is working for me, it might not be working for you. So it's just something to look at. The next one that I want to dive into is perfectly pretty. Perfectly pretty. I fell into this one, right? I felt like everything had to be perfect. The font had to match. If I was using different applications, this application had to go with my brand and I need my specific font and everything needs to match and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to look at your lead capture form and be like, oh, nope, the font doesn't match. I'm not going to submit a lead capture form. I'm not going to submit this. I'm not going to contact them. Right? Or this doesn't match perfectly over here. Nope, not going to do it. At the end of the day, those little things aren't going to matter. Do you need to look professional? Yes. Does it need to look good? Yes. But does it need to be perfectly pretty everywhere? No. Because people are making decisions based on so much other stuff. So I've heard it before. I've heard it in our user group as well of, I can't change this button to be my specific font. And they get so angry about it. And so many times I just want to go on and be like, so what? You can't. And that's okay, because it's not hurting your business at all whatsoever. It's vanity, it's ego, right? But it is not hurting your business. You need to be worrying about other things, right? You need to be worrying about other things. So that idea that everything has to be perfect, that everything has to be pretty, and I'm using the word pretty because that's the word I hear the most from people is, oh, I need this to be pretty. I need this to be pretty. I need this to be pretty. No, you don't. You need it to be functional. You need it to get the job done. And sometimes pretty actually doesn't get the job done. There's been so many studies shown on how if everything is perfect, people don't trust you because it's too perfect. You have only 5-star reviews. That's too perfect. You have everything just looks perfect. People don't trust it. Email campaigns specifically, right? A perfectly manicured email versus a really fast, more authentic email, which one performs better? It's very, very interesting studies. But pretty doesn't, sure, we want things to be pretty. We want things to be nice. I'm not saying you want it to be ugly, but pretty isn't going to be the factor of success for you. Okay. So that's another kind of one to throw out there. Working around your client's schedule. I hear people say this all the time. Oh, whatever my clients want, whenever they want to show up, they have a meeting, whatever's best for them, that's what I will do. I will be, I'm very open. I will, I will do whatever my client needs, right? And many people think that's working for them. And if you're a small boutique business, it probably is working for you. But if you're not a small boutique business and you are taking on more clients, it's probably not working for you. And the reason it's not working for you is because your whole day has to adjust around all of your clients. Instead of getting in a zone, getting a system going, getting a process going to where you can automate things and move quicker and finish your work faster and just create that process and that workflow that is best for your business and best for you. If you can't do that, if you're constantly juggling clients around you, hey, can I come in at 2? Sure, come in, right? And now you have to juggle things. You're throwing your day offs and you're less efficient. So it might feel like that's working for you when you first get started because that's how most people get started. But at some point, you got to go in and you have to look at that process and you have to look at that workflow because you want to optimize your time, right? The best way possible. Optimization of time. As the CEO of your business, as the boss of your business, your number one job is to optimize your time for success, right? Optimize your time for success. And when you're just letting clients come in whenever they want, at whatever times they want, whatever days they want, it is not possible to optimize your time for success. So this might be something you think is working for you, and maybe it's not, right? By choosing a day, Tuesdays from 2 to 5, Thursdays from 1 to 5, whatever, by choosing those times, then you can plan for it, right? Then you know what you can do on Mondays, you know what you need to do on Wednesdays. Okay. So again, might be something that you're doing that actually isn't working for you that maybe you can readdress. Doing everything is better, right? Doing everything is better, meaning I offer everything. I'm a small business owner. Whatever you need, I can do it, right? I'm a photographer. I do everything. I'm a balloon artist. I do everything. And again, this is something that many people start out doing because it's easiest. And I actually recommend when you start out your business, do everything, right? I love that. I love for you to explore, figure out what you really love to do, figure out what you're really passionate about, figure out what drives you nuts that you never want to do again. So when you start your business, I love this method. But at some point, you have to start saying, I'm not going to do everything, right? This revenue stream is costing me too much money. It's too much time to do, not enough money made, right? It's a money suck. This revenue stream is an emotional brain suck, right? It's not good for me. It's not good for my business. So I'm not saying you have to niche completely down, but starting to eliminate things that are emotionally overwhelming, big time consumptions, or gosh, you're just losing money on, and being able to know that. Okay, that's why I love, like, in 17 Hats, you have your product report, you have your profit loss report, so that you can see. You can add expenses to the project, you have income in the project, so that you can see what you're making money on and what you're not making money on. Because when you start to niche down and say, you know what, I'm only going to focus on these 1, 2, or 3 revenue streams, you can market better, you can target better, right? You're going to increase conversion. So think of, like, I'm from the South originally. So I remember going to Mexican food restaurants in the South, and then you have like the fold it plus fold it and fold it and fold it and fold it again, like big, big menus, right? And you're just looking, and it's basically whatever had the picture is what I chose, because there was so much stuff, you couldn't choose one, right? But if you go to higher end restaurants, it's a very curated and very limited menu, right? 4 or 5 things on it, and that's it. Okay. And there's 4 or 5 things on it, and you pay, 5 times the price. Okay. So by really limiting down, right, you're able to offer a better experience, a better process, better marketing, a more tailored experience. And because you're offering a better, more tailored experience, you're able to increase your prices. So again, I think it's one of those things, it might not be working for you. Maybe it is, and that's great. But maybe it's time to niche down. This is the number one thing I hear with people with just joining 17 Hats. They're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. I have so many revenue streams. Why do you have so many revenue streams? Pick one. Pick one revenue stream. Pick the revenue stream you love the most, that makes you the most money. Do that process first. Show that process. Make your whole website about that process. Then on the bottom of your website, say, hey, I also do these things as well. It doesn't mean that you never have to do those other revenue streams. It just means that you're mainly focused on this one, right? So take that in for a little bit and sit with that and see if that works for you. All right. My last one, which is my pet peeve, so I waited until the end, was I don't want it to feel automated. That's what I hear from people. I don't want it to feel automated. And I get that. There's a lot of people that, especially when they're looking into 17 Hats, I don't want it to feel automated. If somebody submits a lead capture form, I don't want it to send them an email right then and there. That feels automated. It feels automated to you, yes. But to your clients, they are the most excited about your service the moment they're contacting you. And we live in a world of instant gratification. And statistics show us that if we meet them the moment they complete a lead capture form, if we meet them right then and there at that very second, then we are going to increase our conversions. This is a statistic. We know that this happens. It has been tested and proven, right? We respond to them with a personalized yet engaging email, we're more than likely going to close the sale. So it's the struggle between, I don't want it to feel automated, which is more vanity, right? And what actually works. And it's shocking to me, the people that will tell them, hey, this actually works. Like, we've tested this, we've proven this already, right? And people will say, well, I don't want it to feel automated, right? And so it is a struggle between what you want versus what actually works. And I think as a business owner, we have to kind of give up sometimes of what we think. We have to put our ego aside a little bit. We have to put up with, we just put that away, right? And start looking at what works, what has been proven, what have other people done that works? Why does it work for them? Right? And so we have to put on that hat of like, we're going to make this work. which is why I love our new template marketplace, or our marketplace, which has all of these templates in them right now, because these are all vetted and proven templates, right? That have been working for other business owners that they are sharing with you. So you do not have to reinvent the wheel, right? I love our marketplace. But there is that, putting aside what we think and moving forward with what has been proven, right? And so that whole, I don't want it to feel automated. I agree with you. You should never have a thanks for contacting me. We'll be with you within 24 hours. That should not be happening in your email, right? We're on vacation and out for 2 weeks. That can happen. So that type of automation, bad. I agree. But the automation that we offer in 17 Hats, and automation, marketing, there's so much different automation that you can do these days. That's really, really good for your business. Really good for your business. Because it's process, it's connection, it's it's immediate response for your leads, which they love. So I hope this has been helpful. I just wanted, like I said, this podcast hit me, and I was going, man, what are things that we assume are working for us right now that might not be? So I hope I brought some things to your attention that maybe you're doing in your business that you think maybe they're working for them, and maybe it's time to reevaluate. Because I think, again, putting in a foundation for your business, right? A solid foundation, making sure that you're always checking yourself, you're always questioning yourself and going, is this actually working for my business? Or is this vanity? Or is this ego? And I ask myself that all the time with 17 Hats. Is this vanity? Is this ego? We always have to check ourselves. And I think if you can do that and check yourself, and maybe it is all working for you, but coming back every quarter and asking yourself, is what I'm doing today actually working for me? Is it actually working for my business? And just take one thing. You don't have to take a lot. Just take one thing and make some changes and see if you can improve upon the foundation that you've already implemented in your business. I hope that helps. I hope you have a lovely week this week, and I look forward to talking to you all again next week. Bye-bye.